We will not accept it. We will not be happy. We are not here to create any problem for
I
them.
don't want to go back to America, but you
No,
need to
this
do
is-
something
no.
for us.
This sounds like threatening. Parents are equal to the God, like they are the God, and this is in my culture. How can I just undo whatever I learned?
The moment hits without warning. No shouting, no chaos, just Jenny sitting there, frozen, as the weight of it all finally lands. Because this time, it is not another argument or another delay, it feels final. And when Sumit's mother makes it clear that staying is no longer an option, you can see it. On Jenny's face, that quiet, painful realization that love is not protecting her anymore. And what hurts even more is not the words being said, but the silence sitting right next to her. Because Sumit does not step in, does not interrupt, does not defend, and in that stillness, everything starts to fall apart. Hi, welcome. And if you follow these stories closely, you already know this is not just another fight. This is the moment where everything shifts. So tell me honestly, was Jenny wrong to stay this long? Or did she hold on because she believed things would finally change? Because right there, in that heavy silence, something breaks. And the real question is not what his mother said, it is why Sumit said nothing at all. And this is where the story shifts in a way most people miss. Because the loudest moment is not the ultimatum, it is the silence that follows, the way Sumit sits there, avoids eye contact, hesitates, almost like he is waiting for the moment to pass on its own. And that behavior hits harder than any harsh word, because silence in a moment like this does not feel neutral. It feels like withdrawal, like stepping back when you are needed the most. And in my opinion, that is where the real damage begins, not from the family pressure, but from the lack of response when it mattered. At the same time, there is another side people argue about. Was he stuck? Was he torn between loyalty and fear? Was he trying to avoid making things worse? But even then, the question does not go away, because from Jenny's side, that silence starts to feel like something else entirely. And, slowly, a deeper doubt creeps in. Was she ever truly accepted here? Now the pressure is no longer private. It is right there on screen, shaped by tradition, expectations, and a family that never fully backed this relationship, and the question gets sharper, can love survive when one person keeps folding under pressure? Because we have already seen moments where resistance from the family did not ease up, where approval never truly came, where every step forward felt like it needed permission, and each time tension rose, Sumit hesitated instead of holding the line. So this stops being only about two people in love and starts becoming something heavier. A clash between personal choice and family authority that refuses to bend. And when that reality settles in, Jenny is no longer dealing with one difficult moment. She is facing a pattern that keeps repeating. And now, the possibility she tried to ignore begins to feel real. What if staying is no longer an option? What if leaving India is the only outcome left? And this is where the noise fades, and the weight of her choices starts to feel heavier. Because this was never only about a relationship, it was about everything she left behind to make this work. Her home, her routine, her sense of stability, and the future she thought she was building in a place that never fully opened its doors to her. And when you look at it from that angle, it hits differently, because she did not only risk her heart, she risked her whole life plan. And now she is standing in a space where nothing feels secure anymore. Not the relationship, not the environment, not even her place in it all. That quiet realization brings a different kind of pain, not loud, not dramatic, but heavy enough to stay with you. And as that pressure builds, the next step starts to take shape in a way she can no longer avoid. Because now the question is not about fighting anymore, it is about leaving. And that is where the airport tension begins. The energy shifts fast the moment departure becomes real. Because now there is no more delay, no more waiting for the right time. Everything tightens at once. Decisions that were pushed aside now demand answers. And you can feel the pressure building in every second, because this is not about a conversation anymore. This is about whether she stays or leaves, whether everything she believed in holds or collapses right here, and the tension does not explode. It compresses, making every look, every pause, every word carry more weight than before. Jenny reaches that point where holding on starts to hurt more than letting go, and you can see it in the way she processes everything. The exhaustion, the disappointment, the quiet breaking point that has been building for so long, because when someone keeps waiting for support that never fully shows up, there comes a moment where the question changes. Not do you love me, but will you stand for me when it matters? And right here, that question finally demands an answer. So when everything is on the line, when there is no more time left to hesitate, one thing becomes impossible to ignore. Did Sumit choose her, or did he freeze again? It's easy to look at Sumit and see only inaction, to call it cowardice, but the situation is not so simple, because he is caught between his mother's expectations, the weight of family honor, and the fear of making a decision that could shatter everything around him. And that tension is visible in every gesture, every pause, every unwilling glance, as if he knows the right thing to do but is trapped by obligations he cannot ignore. And when you watch closely, it becomes clear that hesitation here is not laziness, it is emotional paralysis fueled by pressure. And that's where the story gets complicated, because it forces us to ask, is he failing Jenny because he doesn't care, or because he is cornered by a system he cannot escape? Even so, all of that does not erase the impact of his silence, because every choice, or lack of choice, has consequences, and in this story, even fear comes at a cost, and those consequences are about to unfold. If you look closely, what's happening now is not new, it's a pattern repeating itself, because every time tension rises, Sumit hesitates. Every time a choice needs to be made, delay creeps in, and avoidance becomes the default, and over time, these small moments of inaction pile up into something much bigger, creating cracks that weren't visible at first, but now can't be ignored. And that's where viewers start to realize the story is not only about one dramatic confrontation with his mother, it's about how the relationship responds when real pressure hits, because the mother's ultimatums are only the trigger. The true fracture shows when decisions matter most and hesitation takes over. Jenny has been holding on to hope, believing love will fight for her, believing that actions will follow words, but as these repeated patterns unfold, the question grows sharper. Was this relationship built on hope instead of real action? And if so, what does that mean for everything she sacrificed to be here? And now the story reaches a point where viewers can't stay neutral, because everything Jenny has endured forces a split, and it becomes impossible not to pick a side, with one group saying she should fight for love no matter what, defending every tear, every risk, every sacrifice she made to hold onto a dream that felt real, while the other side argues that self-respect and knowing when to walk away are more important than holding on to someone who freezes when it matters most. And both perspectives have weight, because on one hand, fighting for love is courageous, but on the other, staying in a situation that chips away at your identity is painful and unsustainable. This division fuels every comment thread, every reaction, every debate online, and as the opinions clash, Jenny is left in the middle, facing not just her own heartbreak, but the impossible mirror of everyone else's judgment. And even as the arguments fly, the hardest truth still hasn't landed. At this point, the story slows, and the real weight of heartbreak becomes undeniable, because anyone can endure family rejection, face ultimatums, and step away from pressure if needed. But when the person you came for, the person you trusted to stand with you, stays silent, hesitates, or folds, under the moment, that kind of pain cuts deeper than anything else, and you can see it etched on Jenny's face, in the way she holds herself, the way hope mixes with doubt, the way every memory of their love suddenly feels fragile, like it was never fully protected. And that is the emotional core. That lingers, because betrayal through inaction is invisible, but unforgettable, and it forces viewers to reflect on how much courage and loyalty mean when love faces the ultimate test. She has survived pressure from everyone else, endured judgment, and carried her dreams across continents, but then one final truth changes everything. In the end, it becomes painfully clear that love alone isn't enough when the moment for action arrives. Because no matter how much hope you carry, no matter how much heart you give, if the person you rely on freezes or hesitates when everything is on the line, the relationship starts to crack in ways that can't be ignored. And looking back at that opening moment, the shock, the silence, the disbelief on Jenny's face suddenly makes sense. Because it was never just about an ultimatum or a single confrontation, it was about the ongoing choice to act or step aside, and Sumit's hesitation carried consequences that reshaped everything they had built together. Love without action cannot survive pressure, and as that truth settles, the story is far from over, because what happened after this changed their relationship in a way nobody saw coming, and the next chapter gets even messier, setting the stage for the drama that everyone will be talking about next.